Hey guys, I'm Izdaisho. Welcome back to Magic 2014 Sealed Deck campaign. So now we're gonna go ahead and fight Garruk Wildspeaker with our default deck name. And I really just forgot to name the deck, and I never bothered to go ahead and do that. And let's see what kind of grip we got. Alright, so there's a Gravedigger, a Ravenous Rats, and a Public Execution. This seems good enough. I'm going to keep it. And I've got this Terramorphic Expanse, which can go find me a second forest. There are some cards that need double green in my deck. Oh, well, I drew another forest anyway. But there's also a Dungrove Elder in here, so I'm going to go fetch a forest with this Terramorphic Expanse. So Garruk is starting out with a couple of forests. And let's see what he's got. He's got a Deadly Recluse. So that's pretty nice for him, because it'll be able to take something down. Hopefully it'll just be a Grave Crawler. Or a Grave Digger, rather. Sorry. Alright, so we're going to be able to drop this Ravenous Rats in there. And I'm going to choose you, sir. You must discard a card. And if I can get this in my graveyard at some point, I can dig it back up and then toss it in front again. So that might be nice. But I also have this Advocate of the Beast. So I don't particularly want this Advocate of the Beast, but it's good because it can trade with this Deadly Recluse. And if I can do that, then that'll enable me to strike him with some bigger creatures later on. Alright, so he's not doing much. We'll attack on in there with our Ravenous Rats. Take Garruk down to 19. 19? Alright. And then we've got this thing. So at first glance it sort of looks like we don't want to trade it off for this Deadly Recluse, but that Death Touch is such a powerful ability that we want to make any trade we can, really, with a not so powerful creature. So he's just going to hold back. He's well aware of our tricks and plans and schemes. And while we sort of want to get this Rats back into play and having him discard another card, not to the extent... Oh, he's got a Giant Growth. Not to the extent that we just want to throw it away. So he's going to be able to eat that up with a Giant Growth, and I'm going to play a Gravedigger to go grab it back. And now hopefully I can trade my Gravedigger for this Deadly Recluse, but we'll see. I mean, I do have another land, so I'm probably just going to play this Pack Leader out next turn anyway. And if I need to... Ooh, he's attacking. Which means that I am just going to take this opportunity to make this trade, and he's got another Giant Growth for me. That's okay. I mean, these pump spells would get me eventually anyway. Ooh, that's a brutal draw for me, because he's already stuck on lands, and now I got this Acidic Slime. And this is one of the reasons why Acidic Slime is actually really good in Limited, because there are going to be these games happening pretty often where you don't get to the amount of lands that you want to get to, and if your opponent's got a Death Touch creature, then not much you can do about that. But that was just a really fortunate card to draw in this situation, and now looks like we're going to be able to turn the corner and get some traction going. Hopefully he'll make this trade. I didn't attack with both because I really want him to trade here. Finally made that trade, and now we can just toss this Garruk's Pack Leader in there, and pretty interestingly enough, we can get this Advocate of the Beast out next turn and start making our Pack Leader even stronger. And my opponent is still screwed on lands, which is nice. So, I mean, I could just make the Pack Leader a little bit stronger, but I'd rather just play a giant worm that lets me draw a card when it enters the battlefield. So we're looking pretty unstoppable at this point. Even if he draws running lands, I am going to be way ahead, especially with that Pack Leader draw, and because I have this Public Execution. So I'm definitely looking pretty good here. This is looking like a good old Garruk stomping. So unfortunately, we're going to have to take another turn here, but he's going to be dead next turn, so I'm not even going to bother playing any spells out, since there's no way that he can survive the next turn, because I can just Public Execution any creature he plays, and even if he does play a creature, I just have more creatures. Ooh, Singular Vampire. Man, I forgot that card was in this deck. This deck is really sweet. I mean, it's got a lot of powerful cards, and with some removal spells and double public execution, double murder, it's looking like we're gonna be able to do some work. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the next match, since we didn't unlock a new pack from that game anyway. So let's do this, Chandra. All right, so seems that we just draw this Terramorphic Expanse like it's our job. I'm gonna keep this one. I have a Ravenous Rats to play early. I've got a Garruk's Pack Leader to play once the mid game goes on. I've got 4 lands, including all my colors. Didn't want to draw Swamp there. Probably the worst card in the deck that I could have drawn. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. So it doesn't look like Chandra's got anything to play, which is okay for us because we don't necessarily want to fall behind so quickly. So Forest is okay because now that means that we can hit our double green cards if we draw them. But we don't have that many double green cards, so not ideal. And he's just gonna, or she rather, since Chandra is definitely not a male, is just gonna toss away a mountain. Which gives me the idea that she's got a couple more up her sleeve. And she's gonna toss out this Fire Cat, which I have the perfect answer to the Fire Cat in the Ravenous Rats. That makes me happy. Only drawing lands here. We need to start getting some other cards if we want to win this game. But, I mean, Chandra might have a bunch of cards in her hand as well. So we're definitely just going to make this trade-off if we can. If he's got something like a Shock, then we can... Ooh, that's rough. Okay. We're going to have to draw a creature here. Well, we did draw a creature, so that's not bad. This thing automatically attacks, right? Unless you have an Advocate of the Beast. So, I think I should still leave the Ravenous Rats around. Man, this card is so good that I'm just going to have to trade... Ooh, that's bad actually for me. So, when it enters, it's just going to stop me from attacking, and it's going to hit me for 9. That is bad. When it enters it, yeah, that's bad. This is not good, guys. I'm just getting beaten to shreds by Chandra. But this is, I mean, this is sort of along the lines of where, ooh, that is gonna be a winner. It's, it should allow me to maybe take another hit. Yeah, if he just attacks in with this 5-power dude, I'm gonna take it. And what does he got? He's got Slivers Get First Strike card. Just because Public Execution puts me in such a great spot, that next turn I can basically clear his board with it, perhaps. So what I'm going to do here is going to play this Garruk's Pack Leader and have Giant Growth mana up. Yes. Ooh, Dungrove Elder, that's a good card. Very good draw for me. And we're just going to ship the turn back. And he's going to have to block with this thing, and we're just going to have it... Ooh, Cleaver Riot. So, keeping Public Execution up there would have been rather insane. But instead, we're going to have to figure out what to do here. So we can do that, and that, and that, and then still survive. Especially since we can give this thing Giant Growth. So, that was a pretty good turn of events for my opponent, but we live to fight another day, so that's what counts. Let's play this Forest, and I'm just gonna attack here. I need to start killing him, and I want to use this Public Execution so that I can get rid of this Fire Cat, because I don't have any other way to deal with it without trading a creature right now. So he's just going to shock me, and I'm going to die. So that was actually a really interesting game, because if I had played it the other way and left my Public Execution up that turn, then I would have been able to win. So, I've only got one color this time, but I'm going to keep it anyway since I have this thing on 4, which is a sweet card, and I can play this Advocate of the Beast too, which should sort of make this thing come out as a 5/5, which is just absolutely absurd. So hopefully next turn I'll draw Swamp. If not, then that Ravenous Rats may be stranded in my hand for a little while. But back to the last game, I don't think that my play was a bad play. I think that they were pretty equally good. I wasn't thinking of a card like Cleaver Riot to play around, so I think that it was okay, even though it didn't end up working out for me. Because that's something that's pretty important to realize. Just because a play doesn't work doesn't mean it's a bad play. It just means that that one situation, if you had done something else, you could have won. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you did the wrong thing. It's a really important thing that a lot of Magic players don't realize. Alright, we got that Swamp. It's a little bit late, but still pretty happy to draw it. Unfortunately, it means that we're not going to get to cast as Ravenous Rats for a while, but sometimes it's not even a bad thing. Casting a discard spell when they only got one card in hand means that they don't get a choice. If I did it now, Chandra could just discard an extra land or something, so the fact that I'm able to do it right now is pretty good. Alright, what is this going? Oh my god. It's a large mountain. It is certainly a large mountain. What does this thing do? Alright, just... Okay, that was a weird play. A weird turn of events, but next turn I should be able to deal with it since I'm going to have this gigantic Baloth. Yeah, let's get in there. No reason not to. Not going to block with it next turn. But next turn I'm going to be able to cast a Ravenous Rats and leave up Giant Growth so that I can have this thing jump in front of the land. Although, now that I think about it, I probably... he's got a Firewing Phoenix. Well, I do have this Public Execution, so if I can get a couple more lands, then that'll be nice. But I'm about to take a bunch of damage. So, I did make a misplay last turn. What I should have done is... left both of these guys back and then just double block this thing. And that was probably my best chance to get rid of it. Alright, so I was going to play the Ravenous Rats, but instead I'll play this Dungrove Elder. And now still going to attack with this thing. Maybe it's not a great idea. But, okay, I guess I probably didn't want to trade it for this thing. But we can get another counter on our beast, which should be pretty sweet. And then, hopefully, this is going to work out well. Ooh, Goblin Shortcutter. That's bad. So now he's going to make my, my Rumbling Baloth not able to attack. Which means that I'm going to have to just throw away my Dungrove Elder. And again, I get punished for sending in this Advocate of the Beast. So, we're in bad shape here. Murder, it would have been a good draw, but I don't have enough lands. So it looks like I am going to need to draw that Murder next turn. But if we, or the Swamp for the Murder. But if we do draw the land, then might not be in terrible shape. Because then I could probably draw a couple more lands and turn to Slag. So in order to stay alive, I'm going to have to play this Giant Growth on this thing, which is not great because it means that it's going to die in combat. And all my creatures are going to trade now for all of his creatures. And the only thing that's going to be left on this board after this turn is going to be that pesky Flyer. So it's going to be a close one, but if I just draw running lands, then I can actually get back into it. Come on, give me a Swamp. Alright, well we didn't pick up the Swamp there, and it looks like it's going to be a second straight loss to the Chandra deck. Alright, so he would have played that. Yeah, if I had drawn the Swamp then, would have been able to get right back into this game, and probably would have lost to a burn spell eventually, but if I hadn't made those two attacks with this Advocate of the Beast, then I might have been able to pull that one out. So let's try this a third time. I was really not expecting this to be so tricky, especially since I think my deck is pretty powerful. So this hand's okay. I'm just going to keep it since I think that it's hard to mulligan something like this. I don't have any action early on in the game, which could be an issue, but I am on the play this time, so that definitely gives me an advantage. Alright, Swamps. So if I mean, I can get this Rumbling Baloth out, and if I can get it out before he plays a big threat, then I should be in pretty good shape. But yeah, alright, so it looks like, oh, she might have a creature for me here. The Goblin Shortcutter. Not terrible for me right now. I think it was probably a good idea to play it out for Chandra, but it may have been more useful if she had kept onto it to play at a key time like she did in the last game. And let's see what you got. Goblin Warpaint. Okay, so that's okay. It'll give it +2/+2, so now it is going to be a 4/3, hit me for 4 damage. But what I can do is I can just play Rumbling Baloth and trade for it, and that'll put me in pretty good shape. And I got 2 Gravediggers, man. That's pretty good, especially if you can get the Gravedigger train going on, where you just get your free Gravediggers whenever one of them dies. Sometimes is worth doing, but probably not going to happen here. Hopefully I'll just be able to make this trade without any interruptions. A Slaughter Cry would hurt, I guess. Yep, that's exactly what it's going to be. Still not terribly big in terms of how much that hurts me, since I can just play this Gravedigger and leave up Giant Growth. So I should be able to... Oh, yeah, I want this thing. I want it back. Yeah, and if this Giant Growth can resolve, then I should be in good shape. But if Chandra's got any removal for me, I could be in bad shape. Let's see what you got. Firewing Phoenix. It's a really powerful card in Limited. It's a rare, and you guys are seeing why, because my deck just can't really do anything against it. So luckily, I don't even have to worry about any possible tricks because Chandra tapped out before damage. So now I can get this Gravedigger going on, and we're looking pretty good. We got our Yavimaya Worm entering the battlefield after this attack, and we're down to 16 and we're about to be down to 12, but we're going to start putting a ton of power on the board really quickly, and Chandra's going to need to play some powerful spells to get out of this. I guess a Turn to Slag next turn, land, then Turn to Slag would be really good. It would be able to take out my worm completely, but then again I can play this Gravedigger and go get it back, so that would help me out wildly as well. And I'm going to take another 4, go down to 12. And here's a Blur Sliver. Doesn't really make sense to play it first main since it's just going to be... Ooh, Goblin Shortcutter. So that was a mistake. Chandra could... Well, no. It might not be a mistake because the plan might just be to double block the worm here. But she could have just played this Sliver and then the Shortcutter, made this not block, and then gotten in for an extra 2 damage. But we'll see what the strategy is here. I guess... Oh, no blocks. Alright, well in that case, I'm just going to play this Rats, make Chandra discard a card, which I know is going to be a spell because she hasn't played a land every turn. So it wouldn't make any sense for her to have an extra land. It's going to be an Earth Servant, which would have definitely hurt me in the long term. Right here, it would have been really bad for me, but instead she's got a Volcanic Geyser for 4 on my Yavimaya Worm. Not ideal, but I do have this Gravedigger backup plan. Alright, so that's going to be another 4 damage to my face. And I need to be a little bit careful here, but I do have those rats. So actually, I'm just going to swing on in there with both of my creatures that can attack. And I'm just going to be able to play the rats here for another creature. And I could go get my Gravedigger back, but I just want to get this Yavimaya Worm so that I can kill Chandra as fast as I possibly can. So, actually it looks like I'm going to need to draw something. 4, 6, 7, 8, yeah. Since Chandra's at 10 and I'm going to die to 2 swings from that thing, I need to draw a removal spell or... But yeah, that's pretty much it. I need to draw one of my removal spells in my deck in order to just beat that Firewing Phoenix. Turn to Slag. Yeah, I definitely need to draw a removal spell now. Oh, or Runescarred Demon. Forgot about that guy. Oh, that was a sick draw. Because not only am I able to block his Phoenix next turn, but I can go get something that'll help me survive in the long run. So I think it's going to be Public Execution. Just trying to make sure. Yeah, we'll just grab a Public Execution. And then we can save that up for now. And unless Chandra draws a burn spell that can kill me, we should be okay. Alright. That thing is pretty good. And since Chandra is at 6 with 0 cards in hand, I can just kill this thing and then attack on in there with my Rudescar Demon. So I think that this might qualify as the first official Daisho draw of my Magic 2014 career. That was definitely really lucky. There's no way I could have won that game had I not drawn that. But I think we earn, it looks like it, we earn another booster by defeating Chandra. So let's go take a look at this booster and see what's inside. Alright, look at us go. Got a Nightmare. This card is super powerful. Outside of that, some interesting cards. We got another Advocate of the Beast. Bloodhunter Bat. That'll be a welcome addition to the deck. Marauding Ballhorn, which is just another reason that we want to be playing red. Maybe next time we'll see another build for this deck, or this sealed pool rather. But definitely these black cards just keep getting better. I'm pretty lucky to have opened a couple of black rares. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.